Hello, I'm Voni Septiyawati from the Economic Education Study Program Sanata Dharma University. Anyone know what agriculture is? Agriculture is a type of production activity based on the growth process of plants and animals. So, what is the history of agriculture? Why does it need to be discussed? The history of agriculture is part of the history of human culture. Agriculture arises when a society is able to maintain food availability for itself. Starting from the end of the Ice Age, about 11 years BC, the earth was warmer and experienced a longer dry season. This condition is favorable for the development of annual crop, which give relative short years and the seeds or tubers can be stored. Availability of sufficient quantities of grain and legumes gave rise to settlements for the first time. Various theories and hypotheses explain how humans moved from a hunting culture to a farming culture. The hilly France hypothesis was put forward by Robert Burton in 1948, who predicted that agriculture began on the hilly slopes of the Taurus and Jacobs Mountains, which developed from grain gathering activity in the region. The super hypothesis was put forward by Brian Hayden, who predicted that agriculture is driven by a desire from our intakes a larger banquet to attract the attention and respect of the community. Demography theory was proposed by Carl Schurz in 1952, adopted by Lewis Binfors and Ken Flannery. They explained that an increase in population will draw closer to the supply capacity of the environment, so that it will require more than it can collect. Various social and economic factors also encourage the desire to get more food. Agricultural development. Based on the evidence of the remains of artifacts, prehistoric experts agree that the practice of agriculture first began in the Vargas Crescent area of Mesopotamia around 80,000 years BC. At that time, this area was still stronger than it's now. According to one study, 32 of the 56 species of cultivated grains are native to this area. This area is also one of the centers of plant drivers, according to Nikolai Vavilov. The first types of plants cultivated are wheat, barley, peas, chickpeas, and flax. In other areas, other types of plants are developed according to topography and climate conditions. In China, rice and barley began to be domestic since 7500 BC, and then domestic soybeans, green beans, and azuki beans. Rice and sorghum were developed in the Sahel region, Africa, 5000 years BC. Different local plants have also been cultivated separately in West Africa, Ethiopia, and Papua. There are separate regions of the Americas, namely Central America, the Peru-Bolivia region, and the Upper Amazon, began separately cultivating corn, squash, potatoes, and sunflowers. Cultivation of vegetables and fruit has also long been known to humans. Saint Equipans, 4 years 1000 BC, and ancient Greeks, 3000 years BC, were well acquainted with the cultivation of grapes and olives. Agriculture changed form of belief, from hunting for the goose to seeking goods, a symbol of fertility and food availability. As part of human culture, agriculture has brought a great revolution in human life before the Industrial Revolution. Agriculture in Indonesia. Indonesia is known as an agrarian country, a country that relies on the agriculture sector as a source of livelihood and as a support of development. The agriculture sector includes the food crop subsector, fisheries subsector, livestock subsector, and forestry subsector. Agriculture is one sector that is very dominant in people income in Indonesia. because the majority of Indonesian work as farmers. In Indonesia, its location in the tropics, so it experiences heavy rain and sunshine most of the time, which are important elements for agriculture. Most of the global agricultural commodity can live in Indonesia. Indonesia has abundant fertile lands. Indonesia is a major producer of various tropical agricultural products. Important agricultural commodities in Indonesia include palm oil, natural rubber, cocoa, coffee, tea, cassava, rice, and spices. Agricultural development has contributed greatly to the national development of agricultural development goals in Indonesia to meet the objectives to be achieved, namely to achieve the welfare of the agricultural community economy. The goals of agricultural development can be done by increased production, labor production, land, and capital, according to Secretary 1993. For example, plantation crops are one of the commodity can be relied on as a profitable business center because the product from plantation crops are quite correct in the demand, but in the domestic market and overseas markets. In addition, the high selling price makes plantation crops one of the largest contributions to the country's foreign exchange. Currently, there are dozens of types of potential plantation commodity, including oil palm, rubber, cocoa, coffee, tobacco, and cloves. Swadaya published writing team 2008. According to Pujianto 2009, one of the plantation crops that have highest economic value is cocoa, Theobroma cacao. Tools at addressing the interests of farmers and entrepreneurs to develop it. In general, cocoa plants produced by farmers as the right material for various types of food products both domestically and abroad, thus providing great opportunities for cocoa farmers. The wider the cocoa area cultivated, the higher production will be so that it will be able to affect farmers' income. One of the cocoa production centers in western Indonesia in West Sumatra, Direct General of Plantation 2008. Where West Sumatra is one of the 5 cocoa producing professionals in Indonesia. Cocoa production in West Sumatra in 2008 was 46.20 thousand tons. According to the West Sumatra Plantation Service 2010, currently, there is growing interest from farmers and support from the district or city government to increase cocoa production and priority improving the quality of cocoa plants. Farmers and the government should focus more on cocoa cultivation activity in improving the quality of cocoa plants. This aims to encourage farmers' cocoa production. The income and profit obtained by farmers will increase with the increase in farmer production. So, in conclusion, the history of agriculture begins with the end of the Ice Age around 11 years BC, which is the birth of hunting culture to farming culture. Based on evidence from artifacts, the development of agriculture first began in the fertile Crown area of Mesopotamia around 8 years 1000 BC. The types of plants that were first cultivated were wheat, barley, peas, chickpeas, and flax. Development of the agriculture sector in Indonesia as a source of livelihood as a support for the development of plantation crops, for example, cocoa. Thank you for your attention. Sorry if we have wrong words and mispronunciation, and goodbye.